Alright, so our next topic here today, guys, is going to be back in the world of DC Fandome. I don't know why it's called Fandome. I feel like it should just be called Fandom, but I get it, I guess, if they're going to have like a dome graphic and call it the Fandome, but
the dome.
Yeah, I feel like so many people just say DC Fandom Event, but it's Fandome. It's the Fandome. I can prove it. Fandome. Fandome. I'm just gonna keep saying this. The Fandome event.
Fandome. Some dome.
Fandome. But anyway, so DC Fandome event is coming up here. I think on August 24th.
That's soon.
We're gonna go with it until I see a date. And I think it's August 24th, but it's coming up here. It's on a Saturday, and they've started to release some more like teaser footage. They had a little teaser trailer come out. Didn't really show a whole lot, but they've kind of came out and released a lot of like, I don't know, just news and stuff they're going to be showing at just like their panels and the new trailers and stuff that are going to come out. And then most importantly, the first thing I actually want to talk about here, Rick, we scroll down a bit on this page, is Rocksteady Games, the makers of the critically acclaimed and much beloved Arkham series of Batman games, has confirmed with a pretty cool and interesting graphic here that they have been making a Suicide Squad game. And I feel like so far, we all knew, like, Rocksteady had been teasing some things over probably the last about a year. I think they've been teasing some stuff, and everyone obviously just assumed it was going to be another Batman game of some sort. But I don't feel like anybody actually saw it, it being a Suicide Squad game actually coming. And for one, I really like this graphic, but for two, it actually raises a lot of questions for me because for one, you got the Suicide Squad, and there's an article that goes into a little bit more detail. It just says like, yeah, they teased a Suicide Squad game that's going to pit the Suicide Squad up against the Justice League or something along those lines. And it honestly, just like I'm doing now, had me scratching my head because the Suicide Squad is just like a bunch of dudes and gals with,
medial superpowers.
Yeah, at best. Like, it's literally like a B team, and it's the whole point of the Suicide Squad. They don't care if they're gonna fucking die. Like, but you're gonna put them up against like this graphic kind of says it all. Like they're gonna be targeting, you're gonna put the Suicide Squad up against Superman. That's your goal? Like you wanna, so
it's gonna end real quick.
Yeah, take for instance the game, or the previous Suicide Squad movie, for instance. We'll say their big gun was what, El Diablo. That was their big gun
at best.
Like some dude who can maybe turn into a fire god if he gets pushed enough. Like, do you think that's gonna be enough to take on Superman? Like, dude, I don't think so. How much is Harley Quinn's hammer going to be lined with kryptonite? Like, I don't see this just going very well. Like, just the idea of, yeah, the Suicide Squad versus Justice League. Well, I'm sorry, the Justice League's going to win that fight, dude. You know what I mean? Like, nothing against the Suicide Squad. But, I mean, it's the Justice League, dude. And even if you just take it out, it's like, even if it's just Superman, dude. You're going to throw the Suicide Squad at Superman? Like, I get it's the Suicide Squad, but that's just like, why die trying?
Y'all gonna die.
Yeah, like, there's no point to that. Like, offhand, without knowing any sort of story, obviously. But, like, if I were to put together a squad of elite troops, I would not just want to throw them away by saying, let's go take out that God-man over there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like a very sound idea. So, like, I hope they have, which I'm sure they would, have, like, a good story to go along with it. Because I just don't see that ending very well. No. Which would kind of be kind of interesting, though. Because, like, imagine playing through this game as the squad and inevitably just losing at the end. So, I mean, that could actually kind of be cool. Like, because, I mean, if you're gonna hit the Suicide Squad up against the Justice League, they're not gonna win. Like, they can't win.
No.
Like, not just like mano, like, yeah, they can't win because it's super. Like, I'm saying, like, what superhero story, like, in all reality, ever ends with the heroes, like, actually losing. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause in some way, yeah, like, "Oh, they but, like, so and so, like, died Superman died here and he fought Doom." Yeah, but you know what happened after Superman died to Doomsday? The motherfucker came back. Like, they don't actually lose. Like, that's just kinda how comic books go. Like, the heroes don't ever really lose, you know? I mean, I don't know, I just feel like pitting people up against the Justice League is like this is a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
Even just Superman alone, which is one of the main reasons why, like, making a Superman movie is, like, hard because he's a god man. What do you throw up against a god man? That's why it's hard. But, I mean, other than that, I am excited for it because, like, I really loved all the Arkham games. They're great, and that's one thing that the Arkham games kinda had going for it was the fact that you're playing as Batman, you're playing as a guy, and he's never going up against anybody that's, like, too unbeatable, like, at all. Like, Batman has the best rogues gallery out of fucking every superhero, supervillain, period. Like, I don't think anybody would argue that, and, like, I think the best thing about all of Batman's villains is that none of them seem too far out of reach for Batman to be able to defeat. At the same time, there's a lot of his rogues gallery that could easily defeat him because it's happened like many times. Like Joker's beaten him, Riddler's beaten him, Bane's beaten him. Like everybody's beaten him at some point. But there's always that. It's always a pretty fair fight to some degree when you take everything into consideration. And with Superman, it's just like, you gotta throw Doomsday or not, Doomsday and Darkseid and all these Brainiac. You gotta throw these like huge Omega level threats, for instance, like into it to even be a thing. And I don't really consider the Suicide Squad being an Omega level threat to Superman. So the one thing I would love to see out of this though is like Rocksteady in the Arkham games, like post pretty much an Arkham Knight, the last installment of the franchise. They kind of dabbled in not multiplayer, but like you being able to play as different characters, like at the same time. So like you'll have there were missions you'd go on where like Robin or Nightwing or Catwoman or whoever would be doing a mission with you, and you could switch between being like Robin, or you could like, go back to Batman, like, and you just do it whenever you want. You just be fighting along, and then you can switch to the other character, do combos, whatever. What I'm kind of hoping out of this, as far as actual gameplay goes, is I kind of like to see them do something like because the Suicide Squad. I was talking to you a little bit the before we got on camera here, Rick. Like the Suicide Squad is like 6, 7 people, like,
Yeah.
and what I'd really like to see, and they go on missions together. Like that's the whole point. Like they go out together. So like it would be kind of like I could see them having like they all go out on a mission and then they separate. So maybe two of them go this way, two of them go that way, whatever. But I would kinda like to see them actually, like, in as far as, like, Rocksteady and, like, kinda game development goes, like, do something different other than just reskin Arkham with Suicide Squad characters, for instance, because I can already imagine, like, the beat 'em up Arkham gameplay is, like, fun. It does get repetitive after a while, in my opinion, like, and I really enjoy the games, but I'm, like, a huge Batman fan, so it's, like, really easy for me to enjoy just being Batman. Um but the overall gameplay itself, like, it gets repetitive after a while. It's just, like, combo, combo, combo. You take down the mobs. Like, it is what it is. But what I'd really like to see them do is kinda, like, go a more, like, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance approach with this, and, like, maybe even allow, like, co-op gameplay since you do have, like, the Suicide Squad at your disposal. Like, maybe have 4 people on screen and, like, maybe have, like, a 4-player co-op mode. Like, this is available that you could do, like, so if I was playing it and you came over, you could just jump on and play with me as another member of a squad that I have on screen with me, just like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance and, that kinda stuff. Because like, the gameplay that the Arkham series has really lends itself to that being a very capable thing, and I'd like to see them kinda just do because that would be new for them. It wouldn't necessarily be new for, like, gaming by any means, but it'd be new and inventive gameplay for Rocksteady's, Batman franchise, we'll just call it at this point, just because before they just been single player games, and like I said, like, in the most recent one, they at least it had you go on those missions where you could switch between, another character and play them, but it was all single player stuff, and, like, I'd like to see them dabble a bit more, maybe even just expand that out more, so, like I said, if you're going out on a mission with the squad, like, are you gonna have all of them there with you at the same time, and you can just freely go between them? Because if so, that's a hell of a lot of, like, ads that you're gonna be fighting, a hell of a lot of mobs that you're gonna be fighting. If you have 7 people with you, or even 4 people with you, you're gonna have a lot of mobs there around you, and it would be, like, really cool if you could do that in co-op mode. That's one thing I'd really like to see out of this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't wanna I just don't want it to be the same thing, like, the same game, just reskinned with Suicide Squad characters, I just want them to do something a little bit different. You know what I mean? And did you ever play any of the Arkham games?
I did not.
You ever played any of them?
Never.
Dude, that's crazy.
I know, right?
That's honestly shocking. Okay. Anyway, though, moving on. Other than the Suicide Squad video game coming out, which I'm looking forward to, but I just hope they do something a little bit different with it. I hope they just switch it up a little bit. We're gonna get the Suicide Squad trailer, James Gunn's Suicide Squad trailer coming from DC Fandom. We got that coming, which that has me pretty excited to see. You like Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Oh yeah.
I believe I heard you say that was like your favorite Marvel movie at one point in
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Why was that your favorite Marvel movie?
I just enjoyed it. It was funny. I thought it was great. And Guardians and Guardians of the Galaxy too. I just liked them.
Did you like the second one?
Yeah.
Did you like it more in the first one?
No.
Yeah. I feel like that was probably the clear consensus. I think most people see. I'm on the complete opposite camp where I think Guardians of the Galaxy was my least favorite MCU movie. Like, honestly, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I honestly think that as far as MCU movies goes and how have enjoyed them from an individualistic standpoint, I put Guardians and probably Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Those are my least favorite of the Marvel movies.
I get that.
Like, I like all of them. They're all very good movies. But if I had to rank them, those would be at the bottom of my list. Like, I don't know why those movies they're great movies. I would definitely recommend them, but I don't know, comparatively speaking, I like the other ones more. Granted, Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World are definitely at the bottom of the list. Actually, Iron Man 3 is 100% my least favorite Marvel movie. I hate that movie.
It's bad.
I fucking hate that movie. Do you remember watching the trailer for Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. Do you remember, man, you were both like, this is going to be the Dark Knight of the Marvel Universe.
And it wasn't.
And I go in to watch that movie, I'm just like, this is the opposite of what I thought it would be. This is the most dog shit fucking movie I've ever. And
it was bad.
It wasn't just the Mandarin shit. It was the whole movie sucked, man.
It was bad.
It was a terrible movie. I hate that movie so fucking. I tried to rewatch it. I've tried to rewatch it 3 times. Like, I watched it the first time when it first came out, fucking hated it. And then, like, years go by, and I'm like, maybe I should give Iron Man 3 a try again. So many people actually say they like that movie. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. Then I rewatched it, I'm just like, nah, I don't like this movie. And then years go by
It's that
again.
bad.
Yeah, and then years went by again, and I was like, I must be missing something. Because so many people keep saying they really like Iron Man 3. So I try it again. And I'm like, dude, this movie fucking sucks. Like, I can't do it. I don't know what you people are saying. I hate it. Like, all of it. And it's crazy because I love Guy Pearce. I love Robert Downey Jr. I love the Iron Man movies. Like, I like Iron Man 2 is a far superior movie to Iron Man 3. And people want to say Iron Man 2 somehow is like one of the worst Marvel movies. And I'm like, well, that might be true. But it ain't as bad as Iron Man 3.
No, absolutely not.
Isn't it kind of crazy to think how popular Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. is when like Iron Man 1 was really the only like universally loved Iron Man movie?
It's true.
Because like Iron Man 2 was very like it was good and like no one really hated on it when it came out. It made a lot of money, but like a lot of people like they realized it wasn't as good as Iron Man 1. But then Iron Man 3 came out and that really split like everybody. Like it's really odd though too because Marvel does not seem when you compare the fan base to like Star Wars, like when like The Last Jedi came out, Like, that shit, like, tore fandom apart. But, like, a movie like Iron Man 3, which Iron Man 3 is a far worse movie than The Last Jedi is. In every fucking way possible. Like, in every fucking way
I would
possible.
definitely agree with
Iron
you.
Man 3 is far worse than The Last Jedi. But, like, somehow, The Last Jedi just tore the Star Wars fandom apart. But, like, Marvel just keeps on trucking along. It's kind of like a weird character study in a way.
It really is.
Like, how does that even, like, actually happen? Like, how could you have something, like, so similar, but, like, just, like, affect people in such a different way? I find that to be it's honestly kind of fascinating. I'd almost like to you can make a whole documentary out of that, dude. Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck does that even happen? But then on top of that, just to give a quick breakdown before we wrap this, segment up here, just some things that we can expect from DC Fandom. We've got the whole cast of Shazam is gonna be there promoting Shazam 2, which I'm definitely looking forward to. Then we got, what else gonna be? They're gonna be doing some Batman stuff. Matt Reeves and, Robert Pattinson have been confirmed to do something there. They're even bringing Ezra Miller in to do something for The Flash, and Andy Muschietti is supposed to be there as well, who is, at this point, I guess, still going to actually be directing the Flash movie that was supposed to come out 4 years ago. Gal Gadot is coming in with some Wonder Woman 84 stuff. The cast of Suicide Squad's gonna be there. Like, dude, this DC Fandom event is actually shaping up to be pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what
it's
it
like
looks like.
there's gonna be some, like, really great stuff here. And then honestly, this goes back to, oh yeah, you even got, like, The Rock's gonna be doing something for, like, Black Adam at some point
Yeah.
too. Like, dude, this goes back to what I was telling you before, like we talked about before with the Comic-Con at Home event. That brought in, like, record low numbers comparatively, like, because they took, like, a lot of analytical data to show, like, just, like, trending shit on, like, social media and, like, just, like, whatever, a bunch of, like, statistics and analytics that came in through, like, topics that have occurred, like, post the Comic-Con event that happened in real time, like, pre-COVID kind of thing, pre-Comic-Con at
Yeah.
Home. The impact and trending shit, this as far as, like, anecdotal analytical data, mind you, but, like, comparatively speaking between, like, 2018 Comic-Con and 2019 Comic-Con, nobody was talking about the stuff that went on, or not 2019, but, like, this year, 2020 rather. Nothing happened. There was nothing that happened at Comic-Con at Home trended, and any social media stuff. There were, like, no hits as far as, like, statistical and analytical data, like, that shit, like, statistically fucking tanked. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's really a shame, but it goes back to, like, what I was saying before, like, when the Comic-Con at Home stuff got announced and we talked about it a couple times on the show, like, I just kept bringing up, like, what are they even gonna be showing off here? And then, like, it came out with, like, and all they ended up having a couple good things, like, the boys panel was good and, like, all this stuff and, like, blah, blah. And, but yeah, it looks like I was actually unfortunately kinda right, like, with DC pulling out and having their own event, and then Marvel been pulling away from doing Comic-Con stuff for the last couple of years now because of D23 and everything, and then them just, like, right now not having really anything to show as it is, like, Comic-Con just had, like, no content. They had nothing to be able to show, and
Yeah.
had DC not done their own thing this year, they would have more than likely pretty much showcased all this stuff at Comic-Con, but at this point, it's like, why the hell would they? If they can just
Yeah.
do their own thing, it just makes more sense, which is kinda goes back to the whole, topic we were talking about before with the Disney Mulan thing, like, if that shit works out for them, why the fuck do they need theaters?
Yeah.
You know what I
True.
mean? Like, it's a kind of scary thing, like, cause everybody loves going to the movies, everybody loves going to Comic-Con, and we want these things to succeed, but kinda like you were saying, this is a whole new landscape. Like, with, the COVID and all this shit, like, it's kinda changed the way a lot of people have got to adapt in a much, much more different way than I think anybody ever thought they were ever would have had to. It's kinda like, I mean, it's kind of interesting just as someone sitting on the sidelines just kind of, like, watching it all unfold. Like, I'm kinda curious how it's gonna turn out, but in the end, I think DC Fandome is shaping up to be a pretty cool event. So
Yeah,
this is a one-day
definitely.
thing. So are you looking forward to anything else at Fandome?
Not necessarily, but we'll see when it comes out. So,
You looking for the Batman stuff more than
oh yeah,
anything, or
more than likely, yeah.
what do you want to see out of Batman?
Trailers.
Dude, they ain't gonna have no fucking trailer.
No, but any information they have, like, I'm down.
What would you say if they don't have a trailer? But what if they have like the first costume reveals? Like some real high def costume reveals of all, like, I mean, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, Batman. What if they have some of that shit? That'd be cool. Alfred even in like a
That'd be cool
tuxedo or
with that.
something.
I mean, like, just as long as we get like a better view of what's going on, like that's what I'm looking forward to.
What if they have like a that's one thing I'm probably more curious. I mean, being a Batman fan, I'm more curious just because of the landscape we're in right now. I'm more curious just of like what the fuck they even have to show us for the Batman.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So it really comes down to like what are they willing to tell us about the Batman?
yeah,
So like, and I don't think they're gonna tell us very much because I mean, Hollywood's a very they're more of a show don't tell kind of thing, which is how movies should be. You shouldn't
sure.
have to tell the audience what is going on. You should be able to show what's going on. That's the whole point about telling a story in a visual medium. You need to be able to show and
Yeah.
not tell. So like it'd be I'm interested to see what the hell they even that has honestly the most question marks, no pun intended, because of Riddler around it to me is the Batman stuff, just because their shit got shut down in filming, and I just don't even know what else they could even show us at this point other than like some costume.
Yeah.
So like I would like maybe even like a fan Q&A, because I mean I like Q&As with like fans because it can catch people off guard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sometimes, every once in a while, you get something out of somebody that they shouldn't say.
It's
It's
true.
rare, but it happens, especially if you're Tom Holland. You come up at them, you throw them something, maybe they'll say something they're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Batman stuff. So, and I'm really curious to see anything on Black Adam, because that movie, just like The Flash, was supposed to come out like I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, Black
Yeah.
Adam was never really slated for release by any means, but they announced Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson to be playing Black Adam, like, literally
Years
I
ago.
dude, it was around the time they announced BVS. If not that same Comic-Con, it was, like, the next one.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, 4 or 5 years ago kinda thing, like, and that thing's just now it was supposed to start filming in July. Obviously couldn't, but it was supposed to start filming in July, and, like, I don't know. I'm hoping they show it at the very least, even though we kind of saw some conceptual footage in Shazam of how The Rock would look as Black Adam. I'd like to see some actual, at the very least, some official concept art or something. Like, because I don't really know what else we could really learn from that.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, they literally haven't even started filming that, so they're not going to want to give anything away. So I don't know. But anyways, guys, that pretty much covers everything that I really have about the DC Fandom event. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Suicide Squad game more so than probably anything other than, like, Batman stuff. So, I mean, Suicide Squad stuff kind of falls in the territory of Batman stuff, but other than, the Batman movie and then, like, Wonder Woman 84 too, we didn't really talk too much about, but, I mean, we've already seen a lot of it. I don't really need to see any more Wonder Woman 84. I'm already sold on it, I just wanna kinda see the movie at this point, so I'm curious what they're gonna show for that stuff, but if anything, guys, just let us know down in the comment section below. What are you looking forward to from a DC Fandom event? And do you think it's shaping up to be a pretty exciting event, all things considered? Because, like I said, I think it's shaping up to be a little bit better than Comic Con at home was going to be at the very least. So, whatever you guys think, just let us know down in the comment section below.